Nouva stares on at his sister and his brother. He looks back over to King Piccolo, asking him if he wants him to fight his siblings. King Piccolo says that, yes, with them out of the way, then he can enact his goal of world domination. Nouva sighs and looks over at his siblings. He tells them that he doesn't want to do this since he's just met them, but it's the order of his master, and he has to fight them. Haze and Oceanus are attacked right away by Nouva, with them barely having any time to react. He knocks Oceanus into Haze, with the two being flown away. Oceanus rushes back out and unleashes her ice wind onto Nouva to try and put his flames out. But Nouva wraps himself up in a fiery shield, and the ice wind just bounces off of him. Nouva then sends out dozens of fire blasts out of his shield into a sun gun attack. The flame blasts hit Oceanus dead on, and she collapses to the ground, knocked out. Haze runs up to his sister, pleading for her to get up, with Nouva watching on sadly. Oolong runs up to Nouva, screaming at him. Roshi tries to stop him, but Tien holds him back, saying it's too dangerous. Oolong runs in and begins punching and kicking Nouva's legs. Oceanus is his family now, and if he came from the Dragon Balls, then he should be his family too. He doesn't care if he's weaker, he's going to do his best to protect his best friend. Oolong shapeshifts into King Piccolo himself and begins punching and kicking Nouva to no avail. Piccolo watches this and laughs, saying that the Earthlings have developed some funny tricks while he was gone, but they're nothing to the might of his Shadow Dragon. As Piccolo is laughing, Nouva turns and glares at him. He turns back to see Oolong still attacking with tears in his eyes. Nouva lightly pushes Oolong away and walks back towards Piccolo. He tells him that even though he is his servant, he's not going to kill anybody, especially not his brother and sister. Piccolo gets back in his face, demanding him to do what he says. He's bound to him by Shenron, right? Well, then he better get to killing or else his life is done. Oolong asks him what Piccolo means. He gets down onto Pig's level and tells him the Shadow Dragons have to obey their master, or they return to their Dragon Ball form permanently. Oolong gasps, and Nouva looks on at Piccolo with stern eyes. Piccolo then picks Oolong up by the neck and shoves him in Nouva's face, telling him that he has to kill him right now, with Oolong terrified, until he hears Mafuba. The Mafuba hits Piccolo, and he drops Oolong. Nouva grabs Oolong and flies out of the way, as Piccolo is swallowed up in the Mafuba. He screams out in anger, until he goes to get sucked into the bottle, but the Mafuba misses. Roshi is shocked and curses himself for being such a fool. He collapses to the ground, dead, as Piccolo is on the ground, gasping for breath. Tien, Chaozu, and Haze then yell out and attack Piccolo while he's down. He's not down for long though, as Piccolo dodges and fires a blast right at Chaozu, killing him instantly. Tien screams out in anguish as Haze swings and swings at Piccolo. Piccolo dodges the strike, saying that he'd rather have somebody like him work under him than that blasted Nouva over there. Haze eventually slams Piccolo in the back of the head and unleashes his toxic gas to try and slow down Piccolo. Unfortunately, he also slows down Tien and Nouva. Piccolo is on the floor now, aggravated that this Shadow Dragon was a lot stronger than he thought, and somebody should be trying to help him. Nouva then begins to slowly glow, and he collapses to the ground as well, with him beginning to revert back into a Dragon Ball due to not helping Piccolo. Nouva rushes in to block Haze's strike, and he is forced to land a giant blow to his face to knock him out. Piccolo looks at Nouva and sees him beginning to glow once more. Piccolo says it's his last chance. He better end them now before he ends himself. Nouva struggles. He hurt his brother and sister. He's being forced to hurt these humans. He can't. But if he doesn't, he'll die. But he decides dying is better than serving the Demon King Piccolo. He's nothing like his true creator. Nouva is about to allow himself to return into a Dragon Ball. But a voice yells out for him to wait. Nouva stops himself and looks up to see Goku running up to the battlefield. Goku says that he'll fight Nouva, that way he doesn't have to die. Goku says he doesn't know what Dragon Ball he is, but he won't let one of Haze's or Oceanus' siblings have to die because of this madman. Nouva blinks, and he reverts to normal. Goku runs and attacks Nouva to help him. Nouva kind of fights back, but is mainly confused on the confidence of this boy. And for some reason, he feels like he knows him. He doesn't know how, since he wasn't born that long ago, but there's just some kind of connection between the two of them. While Goku is fighting, he begins to feel the same kind of connection too. Goku asks Nouva what star dragon he is. Nouva tells him that he's the 4-star Dragon Ball. Goku immediately stops fighting and backs away with his mouth agape. He says that Nouva is his grandpa. He's his 4-star Dragon Ball. He was so hoping that he would get his grandpa to come back when he wished for Upa's dad to come back. And while he loves Hayes, he was hoping for his grandpa. And now, this is what his grandpa has become? Nouva is lost through Goku's babble, but as Goku keeps talking, a flash of memories flood over him. Memories of an old man finding him in the woods and taking him in. Then taking in a small monkey boy and raising him as his own. One day though, the monkey boy turned into a literal giant monkey and killed the old man. After that, the monkey boy cried to him for weeks. After a long time of crying, the boy finally came to call him his grandfather and pray to him all the time. He'd come after a long day of being by himself, and then he'd tell him stories of what he did. Nouva suddenly says, "Goku? Is that you?" And Goku jumps up and down for joy, happy that Nouva remembered who he was. Goku gives him a big hug, saying that while he may not be his grandpa, he's still there with him in spirit. Nouva puts his hand over his chest, and suddenly he begins to glow once more. But this time, not out of him returning into a Dragon Ball, but because his body is reconnecting with its true master, Son Goku. Goku can feel the glow around him as well, confirming that he is now Nouva's new master. Piccolo screams out at Nouva for being a failure and fires a gigantic blast at him. But Nouva unleashes a flaming shot towards the Demon King, saying that he will not harm any more innocents. The flame shot bursts through Piccolo's beam and then shoots right through his chest. Piccolo staggers back and curses Kami for creating these vile dragons. He may die now, but this won't be the end. He spits out one last egg and creates Piccolo Jr. before blowing up and ending the reign of the Demon King. Nouva apologizes to Goku that he wasn't able to help his friends, and that they were killed, but will do everything he can for them to be brought back. Goku thanks his new Shadow Dragon for the help, and wakes up Hayes to tell him that he saved his brother. Hayes and Oceanus come too, with Nouva profusely apologizing for attacking them. But they understand completely. They're just happy to have another one of their brothers around. Before any more can be said, the Shadow Dragons all look up in the air, having all heard a demand from their creator that the others can't hear. Nouva and Hayes tell Goku that he's been invited to meet their creator up in heaven, and if he'd like to go. Goku is shocked to hear that God wants to meet him, but is totally cool with it. The dragons take Goku off to the lookout, where Goku gets to meet Kami for the first time. Kami explains to Goku that he's the one who created the Dragon Balls, and that he's deeply sorry for his friend's deaths. Things seemed at a loss when King Piccolo was unleashed, but he managed to step in and save one of his dragons from Piccolo's clutches, and in tow defeat Piccolo. He says that took a lot of bravery, and he'd love to train him up here. In a year's time, the other Dragon Balls will reactivate, and then they can revive their friends. Though for now, Goku will remain up here with him, and train for the next tournament. Goku is obviously thrilled to learn that his friends will come back, and that he gets to train with the creator of the Dragon Balls, so fully accepts Kami's training. Goku trains for a year with Kami and the other dragons until the Dragon Balls are reactivated once again, and Hayes and Nouva go down to collect the others. They return to the lookout, and Kami summons Shenron, with Shenron granting the wish to revive all those killed by Piccolo. Krillin, Roshi, and Chaozu all return to life, with the Dragon Team very happy to have their friends back. With the wish granted, the 3-star Dragon Ball begins to glow, and it morphs into the newest Shadow Dragon, Ice Shenron. Ice Shenron is, so far, the only dragon without a master. Since he was just created from a wish by his own creator, this makes him kind of full of himself already, with him picking on Nouva and Hayes for being slaves to a little kid. Nobody really likes Ice's attitude, and he doesn't seem to like them either, so leaves to look out. Goku asks Kami what that guy's problem was, with Kami saying that it might have something to do with the fact that he has no real master, but he's not entirely sure. Nouva is disappointed especially, since Ice looked a lot like him, and he wanted to get to know him more, but maybe once he calms down, they can go talk to them. The group continues training for the next world tournament, with Krillin having a whole year behind on the others, but that gets made up for with him training with Oceanus. Oolong hangs around the group a lot, so they get some training into the Oceanus with her being open to it, since she gets to get some stretching in. Once the tournament arrives, the group are shocked to see how much Goku has grown. Not just in size, but in power as well. He's gotten the best of both worlds through his training with Kami. He got all the energy sensing abilities and tranquil mind from Kami, and the strength of muscles from Nouva. Nouva is really powerful. The most powerful of the Shadow Dragons outside of maybe Ice, since nobody knows his power. So, Goku got a lot of gains in here, and he's leagues above of anybody else. However, as they get ready to compete, they meet up with two figures, Ice and Piccolo Jr. Goku is shocked that Ice ran off and decided to train with Piccolo Jr., but is now a little more excited actually, since this is going to be a much better match than he thought. Oceanus decides to sit this tournament out since she's kinda sick of tournaments now, and Oolong doesn't really care about the money anymore, so isn't going to force her into it. Hayes sits this one out too, since he's really scared of Ice and Piccolo, and doesn't want to go up against them in any matches. Goku tells him not to be a coward, but Hayes isn't having it, and is hoping they'll handle it. Also, Kami isn't participating in this tournament, since he knows that Goku and Nouva will be able to defeat Piccolo easily, though he wasn't expecting Ice to be there. Mercenary Tao was taken out easily by Ice in the preliminaries, and him and Tien are to battle in the first match. Even though Tien has been training with Oceanus and has improved greatly, he's surprised to find that he's outclassed by the Shadow Dragon. Ice isn't fighting fairly either, freezing Tien in place and then slashing at his eyes. Tien thankfully has 3 eyes, so still has 1 left, but the announcer yells out that attacking the eyes is against the rules, so he's disqualified. Tien tells the announcer it's alright, he needs to move on in the tournament to learn a lesson from the others in fighting. That's what happened with him by fighting in the last tournament, so he'll forfeit and give Ice the win. Though, he wants a rematch outside of the tournament. The next few matches go on as usual, with the only change being the last match of Nouva versus Yamcha, which, yeah. The next match is going to be an intense one. Goku versus Ice. Goku asks Ice why he's gotta be such a jerk, with Ice just stating that it's kinda fun, and they were all boring up on Kami's lookout. But he found the better half of Kami down here on Earth, and decided to hang out with him instead, which has done wonders for both of them in strength. Goku battles Ice, and he's able to clash with Ice without getting blinded, since if Ice tries that again, he's out. Goku has improved a lot with Nouva, and he notices that this guy fights a lot like Nouva, so takes advantage of that to predict what next moves Ice is going to do. Ice begins to take the back foot and tries to freeze Goku out of the ring, but Goku has learned how to harness flame moves from Nouva and can use his own flames to melt all of the ice thrown at him. With his flames too, he's able to injure Ice a lot and manage to push him out of the ring. Ice is outraged and tries to attack Goku again, but to his surprise, Piccolo stops him. He says that he wants a fair fight against Goku in the ring, and he won't let him compromise that. Ice glares at Piccolo and then flies off, with Tien watching him leave, smiling. The next match kicks off with Piccolo versus Nouva. Piccolo says that he's the one who was stolen from his father by Goku over there, and that as much as he wants to end him, Goku is the one he wants. Nouva smiles, telling him good luck with that, as if he wants his master, he's gonna have to go through the one who ended his father. And that's where we're going to be leaving this part for right now. I really hope you guys enjoyed the second part of What If the Shadow Dragons Were Good. This one, I've tried to write more emotion into, like I tried to be emotional for this part, and I hope it worked, because I really hope it wasn't like super cringe and stuff like that. But yeah, I included all that stuff, and I was just, again, testing out new writing styles and stuff like that, and I really had a lot of fun writing this one, so I hope you guys enjoyed it just as much as I did writing it. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching this episode, and if you liked it, then make sure to like and subscribe, as that really does help out the channel a lot more than you think. Anyway, I want to thank all of my amazing patrons for all of their support, as without them, then this channel wouldn't be what it is now. Thank you especially, TailsHomie99, you're an absolute god, dude. And with all that, thank you all so much for watching, and until we meet again. See you later!